This is the tutorial for Chapter 10, Section 2, titled Product of Powers, Property, Day number 2. So on this problem, what we're going to try doing is simplify the expression. And so when we look at this, I've got r and t, both raised to the 12th power. So what we learned yesterday is that we're going to bring r and t both to the 12th power, because what this is rt being multiplied 12 times. So r is being brought to the 12th power and t is being brought to the 12th power, and that's what our answer is going to end up being. Over here we've got negative 3/4 is being brought to the third power, but also p is being brought to the third power. So we're bringing both of these to the third power. Make sure you put parentheses around this expression. Now this is small enough so we can go ahead and multiply it out. And so if I have negative 3 being multiplied out 3 times, it's an odd number of negatives, so it makes a negative. 4 to the third power makes 64, and then I'm just left with p to the third power. Now make sure you put that p to the third power in line with the fraction bar or on top of the fraction. Either one would be fine. Here, the only part that's to the fourth power is the 1/2 and the x. 16 is not to the fourth power, so that's 16 times by 1/2 to the fourth power and x to the fourth power. So 1/2 to the fourth power happens to be 1/16. And then I got to multiply by 16 and then multiply by x to the fourth. Well, 16 is going to cancel out the 16 in the denominator, so that leaves me just with x to the fourth times by 1. Is what I get when I take 16th of 16, so that's just x to the fourth power. So in this next problem, you got to do what's inside the parentheses first, and that says to count up how many 5s you have. So you got 3 5s and 2 5s, so the rule here is that I add the exponents together, and then I'm multiplying it by 5 to the second. So I'm left still with the 5 to the second times by 5 to the third or fifth power, so 5 to the fifth, and then I go ahead and combine all the 5s together. So I have 2 5s and 5 5s make 7 5s being multiplied together. Here's a problem that says the lowest altitude of a cloud. And I'm going to actually change some of the values here just to make it a little bit different than the problem that you'll end up seeing, because this is the exact problem that you'll end up seeing. So I'll change this to, let's go with a 2, and then we'll end up changing the other one as well to that value. So let's say we go ahead and put a 2 in place of this. So we have 2 to the, how about 9th power? We'll treat that as a 9 there. And then I have another, and we'll call it a 2, or 2 times. It's about 2 times the lowest altitude. So put in the 2 right there. So now we've got this situation. It says the lowest altitude of an altocumulus cloud is about 2, and we'll say that's to the 9th power. We'll change that to the 9th power there. And then feet, the highest altitude of an altocumulus cloud is about 2 times the lowest altitude. What is the highest altitude? And so what we're going to end up doing here is we've got 2 to the 9th power, and when it's 2 times, well, that just means you're going to take 2 times that value. And so the lowest altitude is this. The highest altitude is 2 times this lowest altitude. So in order to find what is the highest altitude, well, you're going to double 2 to the 9th. And so when I double it, I'm counting up the exponents. If you don't see an exponent, it's just a 1. So you count up those exponents, you got 1 plus 9 makes 10. So it's 2 to the 10th power. It would be double 2 to the 9th power. So on this one, it says that the United States Postal Service delivers about this many pieces of mail each second. So 2 to the 8th times 5 to the second. And so it says there are this many seconds in 6 days. How many pieces of mail does the postal delivery system mail in 6 days? So we're going to multiply the amount it mails each second by the number of seconds there are in 6 days. So 2 to the 8th times 3 to the 4th times 5 to the second. And so from this point, we're going to count up how many 2's you have. So we've got 8 2's and 8 more 2's. And then we're going to count up how many 3's we have. We have just 3 to the 4th power. Then the 5's. We've got 5 to the second and 5 to the second. And so that leaves us with 2 to the 16th power times by 3 to the 4th power times by 5 to the 4th power. And that would be the number of parcels that are delivered in 6 days. And so there it is. So those are the types of problems that we're going to end up seeing on tonight's assignment. Good luck.